Celebrating Juneteenth means celebrating freedom. Not just the freedom to live, but the freedom to vote and make your voice heard. News 5's Amanda VANALLEN tells us about several organizations using this day to get out the vote, and one of the dynamic women leading that charge.
No justice! No peace!
As protests across the country and right here in Northeast Ohio continue,
A lot of work.
LILLIE Jackson joins them, just like she's done for decades.
My first activist action was in 1967.
The very next year, Jackson went to Chicago during the Democratic National Convention to protest the Vietnam War, where she says a famous activist saved her life.
We marched off to Balboa on the backside, and we were met with the National Guard pointing M16s at us. Dick Gregory came in with his hat on and shorts. I never will forget it because I thought I was going to die. He says, "Don't hurt them kids, don't leave them kids alone."
Today, she continues her fight for freedom for all people, but especially Black people.
Our needs are not being met.
Jackson is the co-founder of the Akron-Canton Association of Black Social Workers and the Criminal Justice Chair of the Akron NAACP. Those organizations, along with a few others, are teaming up with Akron Votes tonight to continue the push towards racial justice and celebrate Juneteenth.
Bring in the history of how Juneteenth started, where Juneteenth is right now, past, present, and future.
Juneteenth is the celebration of freedom. It started in 1865 when slaves in Galveston, Texas, finally learned they were free. 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and a few months after the Civil War ended.
The fire has been lit. People are understanding and are seeing the connection with Juneteenth from 1865 to 2020.
This event is not what Jackson was envisioning at all. She was thinking a huge park like this one, families, friends, celebrations, music, of course, but instead all of this will have to be done remotely.
They'll have a DJ, drum call, and some speakers at this virtual Juneteenth celebration, but mostly it will focus on getting out the vote.
We need to come together and get some things changed.
The organizations will talk about plans to register, educate, and even transport voters in November. It's a cause Jackson says everyone should be fighting for.
That message has to come from white people. We've been saying it from Martin Luther King to Malcolm, even from Marcus Garvey. And it has not been listened. No one hears.
Amanda VANALLEN, News 5.